this meeting on Friday, November 18th, 2022, which is the Board of County Commissioners Canvassing Board Special Meeting. Go through item number 1, which is item 1A, call to order. Just for the record, the meeting is starting at approximately 2:10. We have a roll call, please.
Yes, Chair Garcia.
Here.
Commissioner Anna Hansen.
Present.
Commissioner Hank Hughes.
Present.
Should I excuse Commissioner Roybal for the moment?
Yes.
And we'll excuse Chair Anna Hamilton. So you have a quorum.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, item receives approval of the agenda. I have a motion. Any changes from the manager or the Madam Clerk?
I move to approve the agenda.
Second.
I have a motion for approval of the agenda and a second. All signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody against? Item 2 is miscellaneous action items. Before we get to that, I'd like to personally thank the county clerk and her entire team on a well-operated election. They had integrity, honesty, and very hard work. Great job, Madam Clerk. Please relay that to your entire staff and everybody that did work on it, volunteers, people that actually were paid staff during the election. Thank you. I actually attended the presidential visit a couple of Thursdays ago when President Biden was here in Albuquerque. When President Biden was here in Albuquerque, and it was actually great to be part of Santa Fe County, especially when Madam Secretary Holland got up there and she expressed that she had voted early in Santa Fe County, and she said she mailed in her ballot, and she also double-checked it twice to make sure it did get there, and it did get there. So it was great to be part of Santa Fe County team, especially when the Secretary actually mentioned that with Santa Fe County. Also, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham got up there and she actually spoke that she voted early, and she said the voting process in Santa Fe County where she voted, where she lives, actually went very well. So congratulations on that. It was good to see some top-ranking officials recognizing your office. Item number 2, miscellaneous action items. Item A is request approval of the November 8th, 2022 general election report of the canvass pursuant to New Mexico statutes annotated 1978, section 113-13A. Madam Clerk?
Yes, so I'm requesting approval of our canvass. We did as you know, the results that we post on election night are the unofficial results. And what you are canvassing now are the official results after we've checked every ballot and every vote cast to make sure that what we post on the Secretary of State's website is exactly what was cast in our county, and it was double and triple checked. And we're asking for approval of that canvass report so that we can give the go-ahead to the Secretary of State to do their canvassing.
Madam Chair, before we get into the motion for that, if any commissioners have any questions, did you feel that the actual election went very well? Was there any problems that the county commission should know about?
I think the election went very well. As you may know, we were the first county to post our early and absentee results at 7:01 p.m. And so we were able to quickly get results up on the Secretary of State's website. That's been one of our goals. We also hired a lot more people this year to help accomplish some of the things that the legislature has tasked us with, including having more messengers, having more people in the office, and we actually had to hire people specifically to be able to process same-day registration, because at all of our polling sites we have same-day registration whenever the polls are open. Because there is such high demand as we move towards Election Day, we had to hire an additional 5 people just to process same-day registration. So it was a very big operation this year. And I would like to acknowledge our records and recording staff in particular, because they were doing the job of picking up from the permanent drop boxes around the county, driving very far distances, usually early in the morning before coming to work, to make sure we met that statutory requirement of checking them every 24 hours. So not only did our Bureau of Elections staff work very hard, many overtime hours, our records and recording staff was doing the hero's work of sort of taking the burden of picking up those boxes for us and really stretching themselves thin to make sure this election went smoothly.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I was actually at a meeting in La Cienega both Monday and Wednesday night, and those ballot boxes that are out there for individuals to drop off their ballots, will those remain at different sites throughout the year, or will the county be removing those boxes?
Our plan is not to remove them. I think, what studies show is that when people know a polling place or know a place to vote, or are used to dropping at a certain location, it means that they're more likely to do it again. If you change things without letting them know or change polling sites around, often you'll see people not vote at all. So it's very important to have consistency in information and voting, the same with polling sites and hours. So we will also be keeping our drop boxes as well.
Thank you. And then one last question I have is, many years ago, we used to utilize the sheriff's department for your staff to go to and from polling places as needed. How does that work these days?
So we do arrange for the sheriff to be present at our polling sites. Our presiding judges actually choose how much presence they want the deputies to give. Sometimes presiding judges don't want anyone to come into the polling site. And others would like, just the sort of walk through handshake to say hi and then leave. And that was arranged by case basis from the presiding judge. But they are around and they are aware of our polling sites. But we actually have a innovation in our county that other counties do not do, which is we actually GPS track our ballot boxes as they're coming back on election night, and that's for the protection of the presiding judge, not just for the security of the ballots. So if we notice that the presiding judge has stopped or is not coming back to us for any reason, we can get a hold of them or send the sheriff. So it helps to make sure that the sheriff isn't being spread too thin. As you may know, they are not fully staffed, but also ensures that we can make sure the presiding judges are safe.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Once the county commission does approve this agenda item, it is at final, or the Secretary of State still needs to do her due diligence throughout the entire state?
No, actually, this is just the first step of the final results. So once we do our canvass, then the Secretary of State does their canvass, and then an independent auditor does an additional canvass, and then we actually have a recount period because it is a general election, where we are given a random precinct that was voted in this election, and we have to pull all of the ballots during that recount period, December 5th through 9th, and then hand tally a sample of those ballots to show that the machine and the hand tally match. So we use hand tally in the smart way, which is human verification of machine tabulation. We take a sample using good statistics, right, for enough power to show that the hand tally matches those machines, and then we run the ballots through the machines so that we can prove that we get the same result as we did in the general election for that precinct. And it's probably the best system in the country for a recount and also having multiple layers of checking the results during elections.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Any other questions of any commissioners?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Commissioner.
I want to just commend Catherine Clark, our county clerk, for running a good election and getting the results in on time so early. I was pleased to be able to check my computer at home and see the results. So that was fantastic, and I think that everything went really well in Santa Fe County.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Hughes?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And yeah, I think it was a great job by the clerk's office, and thank you. And I am always not amazed, but I'm pleased at all the care and diligence that goes into making our elections secure and fair and accurate. And I guess my only question was, were there any disruptions at any polling sites or anything like that that you had to worry about?
I mean, in all honesty, I think there is some level of self-fulfilling prophecy. The more articles that were written about disruption, the more people were on edge. And so what would have normally been a misunderstanding or maybe even able to be talked out between a voter and a someone working at the polls did tend to escalate sometimes. So, we did see voters who seemed particularly maybe misinformed by certain forces out there about how voting works. And we did need to train all of our poll workers on de-escalation. We really worked on sort of how to de-escalate the situation and work on making sure we keep voters calm so that way they have a chance to vote. I mean, one of the things that's very important about elections is that it's sort of the ultimate customer service job. You ultimately have to make sure someone votes no matter what they say or what they're doing, because we care very much about making sure everyone has the right to vote and does vote.
Okay, thank you. Well, and more commendations to your staff then for having to de-escalate people and making everything run as smoothly as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Hughes. Commissioner Hanson?
Yeah, so was there any discrepancies between the two dates of the August 9th, November 9th and the November 18th?
Yeah, so the discrepancy you see is only from the ballots that did not get machine tabulated. So the unofficial results are from the machine tabulated ballots. Those get uploaded on election night. And then we go through a very careful process, hand tallying all the ballots that either came in too late after the absentee board closed, so that was one absentee ballot, ballots that could not be read by the machines, hand tally ballots for whatever reason on election day, either the voter chose not to have the machine tabulated or the tabulator would not read their ballot. Those were hand tallied. So we had a few more votes. So we had, and then we had 17 provisional ballots, ones that for whatever reason the voter either had requested an absentee from a different county and then had used same-day registration, and we had to confirm with the county that had originally been sent a ballot that they had not voted in that county, so then we could count their provisional ballots. So all in all, of the 19 provisional ballots we received, 17 were counted. One absentee was counted after the fact, and then there were a few hand tallies from ballots that could not, or the voter chose not to have them machine tabulated.
Yes, so I noticed different numbers on a number of the races, so I thought it was important for people to understand what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Just note for the record that Commissioner Henry Roybal is actually on WebEx. Commissioner, are you there? Do you have any questions for Madam Clerk? Daniel, can you assist us? Is Commissioner Roybal present?
Yeah, I'm here, Commissioner. Sorry, I was having issues unmuting myself.
Commissioner, do
Can
you
you
have any
guys hear me?
questions for Madam Clerk?
I don't have any questions at this point. Thank you, Commissioner Garcia.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to make a motion to request approval of the November 8th, 2022 general election report of the canvass pursuant to NMSA 1976, Section 1-13-13A.
And I will
I'll second the motion, Commissioner Garcia.
Thank you, Commissioners. I have a motion for item number 2A and 2 seconds. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Item passed. Congratulations, Madam Clerk, once again.
Thank you very much.
Item B on the agenda.
Chair Garcia,
Yes.
I just want to, ditto a lot of the comments that my commissioners made and just thank Clerk Clark for the great job that her and her staff did. And please extend my gratitude to your staff. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Commissioner. Item number 2B is request approval of a proclamation recognizing Santa Fe County elected officials. Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Chair Garcia. It is a tongue twister. So I was hoping to present this proclamation It originally was written by the Thornburg Foundation, but the New Mexico Association of Counties sent it through their leadership. And I did make some edits because I felt that that our permanent staff should be recognized as well, not just those who have volunteered temporarily to be paid election workers. And if you're okay, I can read it to the board. Okay. Santa Fe County Canvassing Board Proclamation recognizing Santa Fe County election officials. Whereas election officials make up the front line of democracy and are essential to free and fair elections in the great county of Santa Fe, New Mexico, and whereas election officials are local temporary workers and permanent staff supporting free and fair elections in their communities, and whereas election officials undergo elections training and take an oath of office to faithfully support the New Mexico Constitution and the Constitution of the United States, and whereas many election officials are high school students, veterans, retirees, or seniors who participate in the election process and continued service to our country, and whereas election officials are registered as Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, Independents, Working Families, Green, or Decline to State, but put party affiliation aside to support a fair and transparent election process, and whereas election officials assist thousands of voters in their communities and provide vital support and access for individuals with disabilities, and whereas election officials work hundreds of hours beginning in July to Election Day on November 8th through post-election day canvassing and recounts, and now therefore be it resolved on this third Friday in November 2022, 10 days after the 2022 general election, that we, the Santa Fe County Canvassing Board, do hereby express our gratitude to our Santa Fe County election officials for their contribution to ensuring a free and fair election.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Very well. Any questions from any commissioners?
No, I think this is great that you're bringing this forward. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. I'd just like to say, Madam Clerk, as we all know, from worldwide to the nation, to our state, local governments, everybody was watching this election. And all eyes, from all the nationwide networks, news networks, local networks. But once again, thank you and your entire staff and everybody that's on this proclamation that worked very hard for the election. Thank you. May I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the proclamation recognizing Santa Fe County election officials.
And I'll second that.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second. Motion by Commissioner Hanson, second by Commissioner Hughes. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody against? Thank you. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Item number 3 is concluding business. Is there any announcements? Seeing none?
Chair Garcia, I don't have an announcement, but just once again, I want to thank our county clerk for the edits, especially including our full-time paid staff and recognizing them for their hard work and efforts. And with that, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Item number 3B, may I have a motion for adjournment?
I think I can second Commissioner Royball's motion. I think he said he motioned to adjourn.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Have a good day, guys. Thank you.